Today I'm going to be taking you through some common history-taking mistakes made by medical students and how you can fix them. So if you're a medical student, particularly a new medical student, you haven't been around patients much, you probably get nervous when taking a history, and you're worried that you're going to make mistakes. Well, the bad news is you probably are. You are going to make mistakes quite a lot of the time. The good news is you're still a student. You don't need to know how to do these things. The point is for you to learn from them. And today we're going to go through some of the common mistakes that you'll make and how you can actually get better. So the first mistake is not being systematic. You go in, you get flustered, you get nervous, and you don't actually have a plan for what you're going to do. You just start asking questions, firing off whatever you can think of, and when you look at it at the end, you realize you've missed quite a lot of important questions. Now, one of the ways to get around that is, especially when you're starting out, take a template in with you with the questions that you need to ask. Yes, it will mean that you ask some unnecessary questions at the beginning, or maybe some questions that you've already gotten answers to. It will make your history taking a little less natural, but the point is you need to learn which questions to ask so that you have them in your mind for later. As you get more experience, you'll be able to leave the template behind because you will have memorized it already and you'll know how to take a better history. So the important thing is you have to be systematic. If you're not systematic, you are going to miss things and you're going to miss important things on the patient's history. The next common mistake is getting sidetracked by one thing the patient says and not following up on other important things. So the patient tells you they're having a problem, you notice something that they've said which is concerning to you, but you get sidetracked by what they're actually talking to you about at the moment and you forget to follow up. So the patient is saying they have some sort of problem with their knee, you've noted the knee problem, but they're asking you about the knee, they're telling you more about it, even though that's not actually why they came in at the time. You can note that, you can check in on it when you do the examination, but you also need to get the important information on what brought them in right now. Yes, you need to make a note of it, but it can't become the main focus of what you're doing. And the third thing ties in quite nicely with that is it's not following up symptoms or not writing down and taking note of things that you found out. Let's say you're asking the patient about shortness of breath, and they tell you incidentally that actually I do get short of breath and I also get chest pain, and they describe it to you. Because you're still worried about making sure you get everything about the shortness of breath, you end up forgetting to write down that they get chest pain, or you do write it down but you don't explore the chest pain even though you found out it's a new symptom. So if you find new symptoms that tie into what you're asking about, make sure you explore them and make sure you actually note down what you've explored, because if you haven't written it down, it's easy to forget it when you are reporting on that, and if you haven't reported on it, you haven't found it. Which brings us nicely into the last mistake, is not reporting what you found. Now, you want to sound good when you're presenting a patient, you don't want to sound like you don't know what you're doing, but at the beginning, you don't know what's important and what's not for this patient. So you want to report on everything that you found so that you don't miss important information. Because remember, particularly when you're starting out, differentiating between what's important and what's not is really difficult because everything seems important to you, but it's really not. If you do want a guide on how to present patients better, I've got a video up on that you can check out. I'll put a link down below, or you can just click on the card above, but that'll teach you how to present better. For the beginning, when you're presenting, say what you've written down. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be well packaged, and you will probably get some comments about it, but it's better that than forgetting something important because you didn't think it was important at the time. If you liked the video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment telling me what other topics you'd like me to cover, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more medical student content knowledge and practical tips. Thanks everyone, see you next time.